Alright. They say revolvers are not good concealed carry weapons. I personally don't see a problem with it. So what I got today here is I'm going to use my concealed carry weapon, which I don't think, you obviously can't tell I'm using it. But what the deal is I've got an old head of lettuce. I've got not one, but two jars of, what is it? It's a bottle that's 46 ounces of V8 juice. Don't worry, it's expired. No good food is going to be harmed in this video. So, with that being said, the bullet I am going to use today is one of these bad boys right here. This is one of those famous, infamous 78 grain 454 Casull rounds. And in the rifle, in the 28-inch barrel in the rifle, these shot over 4,000 feet per second, if you've watched any of my recent videos. And in the revolver, they exit the barrel a little over 3,000, about 3,030 feet per second. So we're going to see what they do to this head of lettuce and the subsequent bottles of V8 juice. Now, my goal for this is these originally were pulled from Liberty Civil Defense 45 Colt rounds, and the original velocity was 1,800 feet per second out of a revolver. I've shot a couple of those in a previous video, and they do in fact travel 1,800 feet per second in a 5-inch barrel revolver. Now, when I hopped them up real good and pushed them up to the max pressure, about 64,000 psi in the 454 Casull, then we didn't more than double. We almost doubled our speed. We got over 3,000 feet per second from the 5-inch revolver. So we're going to use our little concealed carry gun right here. Yeah, it's a 5-inch 460 Smith & Wesson Magnum. The only thing is, you can shoot 454 in this. You can also shoot 45 Colt in it. So it's a multi-caliber weapon technically. And I am all about utility. And so instead of owning 3 different revolvers and 3 different calibers, I'd rather just own the biggest one and be able to shoot the other smaller calibers in it. Or other smaller chamberings, cartridges, as it were. So I'm going to back the camera up. I'm going to take a shot at this. Hopefully I don't miss it. That would suck. But I'm going to try to get back far enough away from it that I don't take a bath in expired V8 juice. Let's do this. Alright. You guys think about maybe 16, 18 maybe feet away. Do you think 18 feet's good enough? I'm probably about to get wet. Not in a good way. Or I'm totally gonna miss it. But that's okay. Don't worry. I got another one. I think we got it that time. Heck yeah. Now what you are seeing here is the intended result. See, these specific projectiles are a fragmenting hollow point. They are designed to completely fragment upon entering a target. They are designed to not over penetrate, which is really, if you think about it, that's a really good self-defense situation, because you don't want to end up shooting past the bad guy. You want to shoot through him and then potentially into another person, a bystander. So what you want is you want a round that will dump all of its energy within the first few layers of its intended target. So what we got here is our lettuce head, and it looks like, which I can't really tell which was the entrance and the exit. It's hard to tell. I don't even know. Oh man. I think there's still pieces of bullet in there. Let's see if I can get some of those out. Yep, there's at least one fragment. I think I dropped a couple. But here's one fragment. So it did what it was supposed to do. It fragmented upon impact. So went through the lettuce, through the first jar. In the second one, look, I'm squeezing this right now, and it doesn't even have a hole in it. So that one was totally protected. It went through the lettuce, expanded, fragmented the way it was supposed to, went into the bottle, fragmented some more, expanded, blew the bottle out. But the bottle behind it is totally okay. So that's really what I wanted to see. That is the result that I wanted. This would be the ultimate home defense round, because 78 grains at 3,000 feet per second, we are talking over 1,500, maybe 1,600 foot-pounds of energy, and it's all getting dumped in that first layer of the target. So we don't have to worry about it going through the target and through the wall and into the next room and potentially hitting another bystander. You know, a lot of people don't think about that. There are some hollow points out there on the market that do not expand the way they should, and they will over penetrate because of that reason. And it would be a really unfortunate circumstance if you were to have an intruder and you needed to make a shot on said intruder, and then your round passed all the way through them, through the wall, and into the next room, where, who knows, maybe your wife's in there, maybe your kid's in there. I mean, you really need to think about that. So this right here, I don't know what to say other than that's perfect. That is exactly the way it should have gone. It is exactly the way I wanted it to go. We're talking that much penetration, about what, through the head of lettuce and then into the V8 jug. We're talking maybe not much, only a few inches there, maybe 6 or 8 inches of penetration, and that's it. You know, you don't have to worry about it going, you know, all the way through and then through the backstop. And from what I can tell, these holes here were old. Those were from when I had this plate up there. You can see the same pattern, the two and the third one. So those are old holes. This was a new one. That was from when I just missed the target earlier. I just went a little off to the side. But the rest of that, that's all old stuff. And yeah, went down good. That's the way it should have. feel like I got tomato soup on my fingers. Obviously, you guys probably want to see me shoot the other bottle, and you probably want to see it in slow motion. So let's do that. Man. I feel almost like Kentucky Ballistics out here, only I'm actually trying to prove a point and do actual science. That's what separates us, I suppose. Plus a couple million followers. Let's see what happens if we just hit the V8 jug. We'll try to see if there's any sort of different pattern on that behind it. So if you want to take a really good look at the wall before we shoot this. Alright, as you can see, I accidentally hit the table a little bit there. Let's see though, did it go through? Well, it did a lot of something, I will tell you that much. I was kind of shooting at a downward angle this time. I was standing up. Here's the bottle. I kind of hit it in the bottom, and when I did, it pushed and like molded the table down. It's kind of weird. It's got a big dip in it right there. I've never seen that before, but yeah, perhaps if I would have, or maybe this is the entrance. Do you know? Is that the entrance, or is this the entrance? I bet you that's the entrance hole right there. It went in and down. So it blew out the front, kind of. But check this out. So bullet goes in here. Are there any holes in the back at all? I mean, I wasn't exactly up on top of the target. So bullet goes in here. I'm aiming down just a little bit, not like extreme down, like where it would blow out the bottom, but kind of down just a little bit, and nothing went through the other side. I'm telling you, these Liberty civil defense bullets they ain't no joke for home defense, and they got my vote, that's for sure. So that thing caught all 1,500, 1,600 foot-pounds of energy in the bottle. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't go all the way through. It did go through the lettuce head and into the bottle behind it, but when it hit that, I guess the hard surface of that bottle, it really broke up immediately and didn't go all the way through, although it did dump all of its energy right there. So, yeah. Heck yeah. That was a good time. I'm gonna have to make some more of these rounds. A little bit of the aftermath for you. And then you can see the bottom of my table where it kind of like, I think that's just the pressure, honestly, of just the V8 juice, because there's no real like holes going through. I think that's just mostly pressure, just totally pushing down on the table. Like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell, but there's like a really big dent right there now. Pretty wild. So, when you need an ultimate home defense round, you want it to stop the bad guy, but you don't want it to go anywhere else. Man, the 454 Casull with a 78 grain bullet, traveling at 3,000 feet per second in the handgun and 4,000 feet per second in the rifle. Gonna be pretty good stuff. The downside is that it doesn't have a lot of range. Maisie down there taking a piss, but it doesn't have a lot of range. It loses a lot of speed really quickly because it has a very poor ballistic coefficient. As I've said before in other videos, you should go watch those if you haven't. But at close range, self-defense range, I really don't think you could beat it. I don't think there's a round on the market that would do better. Now, I do think that possibly at a lower velocity, these bullets would have more penetration. I think because of the hyper velocity nature of them is the kind of the real issue. And as far as penetration goes, they're going so fast and they're so light that when they hit, they just completely vaporize, you know. They fragment. You know, of course they were designed to do that. You know, that was the intended purpose of those projectiles. Yeah. Friggin' squirrels. So, I mean, but if you do slow them down a little bit, like back to that 1,800 feet per second that they were intended to go out of the 45 Colt, they do have like the standard. I think they show like 12 inches of penetration and gel blocks, and about 6-inch wide dispersion of the petals when they break apart. I don't know what these will do going 3,000 feet per second or even 4,000 feet per second. I'm not really sure what that would do to a gel block. I wish I had the money to buy gel blocks, but I really don't at this point right now, currently. So that'll just have to be a later test video at some point. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, if you subscribe to the channel, maybe consider joining the channel. And you know, which is basically $5 a month, basically a cup of coffee a month or so for me, and I will maybe afford to buy a gel block one day. Who knows? Anyways, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time in the next video.